Donald Trump just ran into something he almost never has to deal with, and that's someone willing to stand right in front of him and call him out to his face. Not a reporter who backs down the second Trump snaps at them. Not a journalist the press quietly abandons after Trump goes after them. Not even a foreign leader throwing a little polite shade. No, this time it was a pastor. A pastor who directly confronted Donald Trump over his attacks on Americans, especially people in Minnesota, at the D.C. prayer breakfast today. And the moment was something. Because Trump didn't come in calm. He didn't come in reflective. He started the event by basically attacking the room, complaining, venting, whining about how he's apparently not getting into heaven, and somehow blaming the fake news for that too. I'm not exaggerating. That actually happened. And then, at one point, he straight up lost the ability to speak. Like, completely unraveled mid-thought. We're going to get into all of it. The rant, the meltdown, and especially the moment when that pastor stepped up and said what almost nobody ever says directly to Donald Trump. But I want to start where Trump started, because it tells you everything you need to know. This unhinged little diatribe about heaven, persecution, and how somehow, once again, nothing is his fault. That's where this story really begins.
And you know, I never get a fair break from the fake news, which is back there. That's a lot of fake news. Because last time I was having a lot of fun. We had a big crowd. We had 60,000 people, and I'm talking about the fact that I will never make it to heaven. I will never, ever. And I was being funny. I was trying to be, you can't be sarcastic with them because they write your words, and they don't. The people who are reading the words are much different than. But I say, I'm never going to make it to heaven. I just don't think I qualify. I don't think there's a thing I can do, but all of these good things I'm doing, including for religion. Religion's back now hotter than ever before. I mean, I have to tell. But I said, even though I did that and so many other things, I named things, I said, I won't qualify. I'm not going to make it to heaven. And the New York Times did a front page story that Donald Trump is questioning his life and the meaning of his life. No, I was just having fun. I really think I probably should make it. I mean, I'm not a perfect candidate, but I did a hell of a lot of good for perfect people.
Yes. Because obviously the best way to open a speech at the National Prayer Breakfast is to complain about the media coverage you got last time for saying you're not getting into heaven. I mean, how exactly are we supposed to interpret that? Trump's up there like, they take my words and they use them against me. And honestly, I think part of the problem is that as a country, we've just gotten way too numb to Donald Trump. Unfortunately, sometimes the only way his words really land, like actually hit you, is when you see them written out. When you read the transcript. You hear this all the time on MSNBC or CNN. Someone will say, I read the transcript and wow, it was insane. And they're right, because when Trump's words are on paper, you feel the full weight of them. It's no longer just Trump wandering around shouting nonsense at people, which, let's be honest, we've gotten far too used to. And we shouldn't be. We really shouldn't. And that's why what happened next matters so much, because right after Trump decided that a prayer breakfast was the perfect place to start attacking Democrats, that's when the pastor stepped in. And what the pastor said, that's the part Trump clearly wasn't ready for.
I don't know how a person of faith can vote for a Democrat. I really don't. And I know we have some here today, and I don't know why they're here, because they certainly don't give us their vote. I certainly know that we're not going to be convincing them to vote for a little thing called voter ID. It polls at 97%. And even the Democrat, the people, the voters, are at 82% for voter ID, but the leaders don't want to approve it. They said they will strike. They will not allow it to happen. It's polling at over 90%. It's called voter identification. When you go to the polls, you show, yes, my name is so-and-so, and I live in the country. I'm here. I can vote. They say, that's not allowed. And no, everyone's trying to figure it out. And they do something to win. You know what it is? They cheat. But let's get on to another subject. No, at that, they're the finest probably anywhere in the world, I would say. But we're trying to pass voter ID and other things having to do with your religion. And getting the Democrats to vote is very, very tough. But
All right, Donald. So last time at the prayer breakfast, you said you weren't getting into heaven. Cool. Solid opener. So I guess this time you thought, let's really raise the bar. How about I just start attacking people? And sure enough, here we go. Well, the Democrats want everybody to vote, and we don't like that. Right? Because if there's one thing Christianity is known for, it's exclusion. Fewer people, smaller numbers, nothing says faith like, nah, not you, or you either. Then Trump starts rambling about proselytizing, clearly no idea what the word means, and somehow turns it into a prostate joke. I already had that checked by the doctors, didn't like it, please don't do that again. Sir, this is a prayer breakfast. So yeah, Trump is up there attacking the crowd, because of course he is, completely on brand. And then something genuinely shocking happened. He got called out by a pastor. I mean, this was incredible. The pastor is speaking, actually saying something meaningful, and Trump is just sitting there behind him, furious. You can see it on his face, staring, seething. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't just burst into flames right there.
Without you, none of us can adjudicate the overwhelming details of leadership and life. Today we pray for America and we pray for all parliamentarians around the world. The book of Timothy teaches us that you've been entrusted with leadership. Today we pray for the future of this nation and that you would lead this president into greater levels of compassion for your name's sake. We pray that you would protect him from the iniquities of evil and that you would give him greater clarity, greater courage, and greater capacity to do what is right in the forever challenges. Today we remind him that the lives of millions of people are in his hands and that he has the power to turn mourning into dancing or to reduce the country into a cosmic elegy of chaos and suffering. And it is because of this that we pray that the best of this president would rise among us. For the sake of this nation, for the sake of this world, we pray that goodness and mercy would announce themselves in his life in new and powerful ways. We pray that he would be mindful of the poor and that he would be invested in the elevation, the alleviation of suffering happening on farms in the Midwest, in the families preparing to bury their loved ones in Minneapolis. Remind him that we are all Americans, all made in the image of God, and that none of us are free unless all of us have our freedoms protected.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I genuinely cannot believe that just happened. I cannot believe someone actually stood up and called out Donald Trump to his face while he was forced to sit there and take it. That never happens. Trump is almost never challenged like that, especially not publicly, and definitely not in front of other people. He's used to talking, not listening. He's used to dominating the room, not being corrected in it. And can I just say this, because it's been eating at me? The fact that after Trump went after Caitlin Collins for not smiling enough while she was asking about Epstein's survivors, not a single member of the press stood up and said, "Why would you say that? What gives you the right?" That's disgraceful. Journalists are supposed to stand up for each other. It cannot just be me, Brian Tyler Cohen, the Midas Touch guys, and the I've Had It crew yelling, "What is wrong with this press corps?" while everyone else just sits there and lets the president shout down their own colleagues. And then J.D. Vance jumps in and mocks Caitlin Collins too. It's gross, flat out gross. But this moment with the pastor, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we need more of. Someone finally saying, no, you don't get to do this unchecked. And honestly, the fact that Trump didn't burst into flames or get struck down by lightning in that exact moment feels like a missed opportunity. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, if there was ever a moment, and somehow, it still didn't get better for Trump. Because after all that, he tries to loosen up. He tries to joke around, tries to charm the world leaders in the room, because he's always desperate for approval, always fishing for that pat on the back, especially from the president of the Congo, whose name he does not know. He genuinely does not know it. And that right there, that's the point. Just take a look at this ridiculous clip.
And we're joined today by a very, very brave and wonderful man, the president of the Congo. President, would you stand up, please? You are so... President, thank you. And you really are, you're a brave man. I know what you've been through. I know that one very well. That was a hard one. That was many, many years. And it's working out okay. Nothing's easy. Every once in a while I have to call them both back, but it's working out okay. It's going to work out good. But you are brave, and we appreciate you being here. Great honor. Great honor. Good guy. Together, he and I have...
What a racist. What an idiot. Truly, just an absolute idiot. And honestly, I'm sitting there trying to figure out what even happened. Did he actually forget the guy's name? Because it really looked like his brain just short-circuited and he forgot how to speak. Or was the name on the teleprompter and he decided, yeah, I'm not even going to try that. Either way, it's embarrassing. Then he goes, "Where's the president?" Sir, you're literally looking at him, and then it turns into this awkward, cringy praise. Wow, you look so presidential. Don't we love that? Don't we love when you're president? It's great. It's fantastic. Oh my God. These world leaders cannot stand him. You can feel it. They're just enduring this moment, and Trump knows it too. He actually admits it. He straight up acknowledges that world leaders don't like him. And what he says next really says everything about how he sees himself and how disconnected he is from reality. Take a listen to this. Take a...
Bad thing. And I went over to Davos. They invited me. And when I left, they said that may have been the stupidest invitation we ever gave to somebody. Switzerland. But they have to, I just say it like it is, they're destroying their country. Their energy is ridiculous, what they've done. And the immigration is, I'm telling you, it's a place where many of these countries are not recognizable, and I'd like to see them straighten it out. Very soon, it's going to be impossible for them to straighten it out. We have our director.
Yes, Donald. They do wish they didn't have to invite you to Davos. That part, you actually got right. They didn't want you there. Nobody wants you at their events. You are a pariah among world leaders. That's just reality, and I think he's finally starting to realize it. All those events, no one wanted him to attend. That little peace summit, nobody showed up for. The so-called peace plan, no one wanted to sign. The peace board, no one cared about. No one wanted to give you $1 billion for peace. No one wanted to let you grift off the back of a genocide. Shocking, I know. Breaking news. It's moronic. Truly moronic. And the wild part is, he usually doesn't even acknowledge it. But now, he kind of is. You can hear it creeping in. He's waking up to it slowly. And that's why he opened this speech the way he did. That whole, "I'm not getting into heaven" thing, that wasn't random. That was insecurity leaking out. Because so much of Donald Trump's life is about one thing. What will my legacy be? He's obsessed with it. And I think he's starting to understand the truth, that it's not going to be good. People don't like him. History isn't going to be kind. And that scares him. So now he's trying to lock it in himself. He doesn't want to wait for history to judge him. He wants to build it now. The arches, the ballrooms, the peace boards, the fake peace prizes. He needs to convince himself of it while he's still here, because he knows he's not getting airports named after him. He's not getting highways. He's not getting some grand presidential library. First of all, because he doesn't read, and neither do most of his supporters. And that's why he's trying so desperately to force himself into the fabric of everything. That's why he lashes out. That's why he attacks D.C. That's why he needs the applause so badly. If you want to support this work, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on the video. And if you made it all the way to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep fighting. Y'all, don't let them silence you.